Hi there, I am live for the SuperCharge emails live training. If you are watching me and everything is working, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to be looking for your comments because, in terms of tech, it can feel a bit, I don't know, here or there. So let me know that you're watching and let me know that everything is working like it should because the tech part makes me nervous more than anything else. So just a thumbs up or anything before I get started. I'd really appreciate it. Yes, let me know. I know there's a little bit of delay sometimes, that everything is working as it should. And in case if there's any issue, yes, is everything fine? I'm not getting a response. This worries me. Oh, phew. Thank you guys. Sunny, Rajiv, Shukriya. Thank you so much. Hey, Rita, lovely. Welcome, guys. We're going to get started without further ado. Let us talk about our emails and everything we can do to supercharge your emails. Welcome, everyone. Great to have you here. Let's get cracking. I'm very, very wary of your time. And I think we should take about 30 minutes or so. It should be all right. So, in the next 30 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to write supercharged emails that convert, because at the end of the day, we don't write emails for the fun of it. We want a response in the shortest, most effective way possible. Okay. Now, who am I? Who am I? What is this about? Right. Now, I have a very unique experience in terms of leading HR in a few companies. I've also been recruiting a lot. I've been a job seeker. I've been laid off. I also interview, MBA candidates. So I have a very unique experience here. And this is why you're in the perfect place, because I'll also have a very cool bonus tip that I think will help you, particularly on my secret formula and what I did in countries where I didn't know anyone. At the end of our live training, there will be an offer. Even if you don't take it, no problem at all. I'm happy you're here and I'll make sure you get maximum value for your time. All right, let us get cracking. Now, this is for you if you're frustrated a little bit that you're not hearing back from companies or even people, right? Individuals. When you send them a handcrafted email, you worked so hard on it. If you are on a career break, whether it's by choice or not, and you're itching to get back into the workforce, you secretly think that your emails, that skill of writing good emails, is not doing justice to your talent. Like, you know that for sure, right? And you also shudder at the thought of writing an email because maybe English is your second, third, fourth language. I get it. You may have even taken a class, like a writing class in the past, and then kicked yourself because it wasn't, delivering, or you didn't get maximum out of it. Now, why should you listen to me? Who am I? I'm an HR director. Like I said, I've worked for over 2 decades in countries around the world, in South America, in Europe, in Asia. And in recruiting, I've done lots of looking at CVs and resumes and interviews and things like that. And in that process, emails, thousands, tens of thousands of emails have been exchanged. So I definitely have an idea of what a good and not a good email looks like. Am I an email expert? No, I'm not, but I'm definitely a practitioner based on real world experience. I've been a business partner across executive committees, whether it's executive committees, whether it's entry level, across the board, right? I have an MBA from INSEAD, which is a top 2 global program. Proud to be an INSEAD alumni. Worked in startups, medium sized, and Fortune 5. So it works across. And I have the honor of being a career coach, according to JobScan Top 25 Career Coach in 2021. And I have a podcast and a YouTube channel that are all about careers. So, enough about me. I want to take a quick check right now. Now, which one describes you? Now, okay, something is wrong. Give me one moment. Give me a sec. There's something quite wrong with that slide. Nothing, a little issue there. So I apologize. I shall be back. I shall be back. Please excuse the minor technical glitch, but I will take care of it. Close. Why was this showing me the wrong thing? Apologies. Apologies. This shouldn't have happened. I'm going to get angry with myself later. But it happens. We're all human. Wrong. Sorry about that. Wrong. Um, I chose the wrong folder. Okay, got it. Now, I'm going to go back to sharing my um, screen, and I should be okay soon. Okay. Where were we? Apologies. Apologies. Okay. Um, this was, yeah, a little bit of an issue. Now, listen, what makes me so confident in my approach? Sorry about that. Apologize. Extra 2 minutes I took. I've been a candidate, right? So I've been on both sides. So every time I had to do an outreach, my hit rate has been pretty high. And when it came to outreach emails and how they converted into offers, um, during one of the worst periods, I think, other than COVID, right, which was the banking crisis and the recession of 2009, I received 5 job offers in probably the worst economic climate. And I give a lot of credit to it, to my career documents like my resume, and even in 2009, even to my LinkedIn profile, but as well as the quality of emails that were written to strangers around that time. And the emails that I've used, I mean, I'm going to be talking and sharing about emails that I've used for myself, and also, with my clients. So it's not like, templates and things like that. So what are we trying to achieve here? What are we looking at achieving here? We are looking at getting, our foot in the door and getting a superb first impression to showcase our awesomeness. That's what we're looking at right now. And we want to get our foot in the door lots of times, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Not just like a boring email, but at the end of the day, what are we looking at achieving? Um, why now? Why are we talking about this now? There is a recruitment boom. It's a little bit different from 2020. There's a demand that exceeds supply. And not only is it a candidate driven market, but I also want you to think about one more thing, and that is some of the top skills that are needed in the world today. I'm trying to look, I'm sorry. What I was doing was I was looking at I had an updated presentation. For some reason, it's disappeared, like literally disappeared. So I'd put in some facts and data about that. And some of the top skills needed in the world today are things like, obviously, the technical aspect, but there's also persuasion, collaboration, and problem solving. A lot of those, if you read between the lines, it comes down to writing good email copy. It comes down to that. It's so simple, because if you can get that, another one, which is one of the professions of the future, and also it's here to stay. It's called digital journalism. I think that's what the World Economic Forum calls it. Now, writing good copy is not something that's only for marketing people. It's pretty much for everyone. So now, listen, this is my promise to you. Um, you're going to learn something today that hopefully you don't know from before. This is not like any other master, regular little webinar. So stay till the end so I can share something big. Now, let's talk about emails. Okay. Let's talk about the work of art that is emails. What is the purpose of emails? It's the idea is to communicate something to someone so that they do what you want. It's so simple. At the end of the day, that is what good emails are about. Now, what do you communicate? You introduce something, whether it's yourself to them, whether you inform, whether it's your career backstory, you identify something, whether it's your top skills or your top deeds to their top needs, right? You're doing that in every possible email. These are some of the things that you're doing. You're making them imagine, you're teleporting them into a time, like because of this email, they're reading it and they're like, oh wow, okay, this is what it would be like if she were to work with us. And then induce them or seduce them to want a meeting with you. That's what we are looking at. And if you really think about it, what about email versus text? Versus a text message versus a social media direct message versus a phone call. When should you use when? Now, obviously, these are my recommendations. I don't necessarily say this is the only way to do it, but this is what I recommend. Okay. Now, when it comes to text, it's typically when you already have their number. Obviously, I think there's only one time that I got a WhatsApp message from someone because they said, I said, I don't remember sharing my number with you. Yes, but I have my ways. And it was a sales pitch. I blocked that person immediately, right? So it's, you don't want to invade someone's privacy. I know it goes without saying, but not everybody thinks this way. The idea of a text is you want an immediate response. Usually that is the thing. Now, and I'm sorry, this I can't find my updated slides. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. I'll update it when I send the replay. Social media is you already connected and you already tried your best. There is no other way you could have heard their response. And social media like a LinkedIn DM or Instagram DM, I'll tell you what, that works when some people are a little famous. I've seen that happen because they don't necessarily outsource their social media management in terms of the direct messages. They don't outsource that to other, like their assistant. They want to do it themselves usually, right? Sometimes not. I've had bad luck and good luck both ways. When does a phone call work? This is a good one. Phone call versus email. When do you use which? Okay. Typically, you use a phone call when that person is already expecting your call. In 2022, if you get a call out of the blue and it was not expected, let me tell you, times have changed. Now, whether you agree with me or not, most people are like, hey, is everything all right? Like, if I get a call out of the blue, I'm like, is everything okay? Of course, it's a nice surprise, but I think the lowest common denominator is if you already have set a time to talk, particularly in a professional setting, you're more safe. And email, when do you send an email? When it's a more formal situation, a formal context, and you want that record to be archivable, searchable, and professional. Archivable, searchable, and professional. Tell me in the comments if you agree with me. When there's something important, I tell that person, please don't send it to me on a text message or a WhatsApp. Please send it to me on email. Because most of our text inboxes are jungles. Okay. I'm not saying our emails are not jungles, but it's so much easier to find something within an email. So when it's something important, you want to put it down on email. All right. What do these numbers mean? Any idea? What do these numbers mean? Okay, this is update. This is the numbers I'm going to talk about. 4 billion email users in the world today. 4 billion email users. And 293 billion emails are sent every single day. Wow. How do you stand out? How do you stand out in this complete ocean of billions? How do you do it? And this is how you do it. Now, I want to address some myths versus facts. Number one myth is if it's a cold email, it's spam. It's not true. Not true. It is spam if it's poorly targeted. It is spam when it's poorly written, right? So here, Christina, it's like, hi, Christina, I see that you are working in X company, and I immediately talk about what I do, and please, we should meet. But it has nothing to do with Christina. There's no personalization at all. That's disruptive. It's intrusive. Some people say it's rude. They will report, they will block, they will not want you to. That is spam. Okay. However, a cold email is not the same thing as a spam email. It's like saying all fast food is junk food. Not necessary. Not necessary. Some fast food is tasty and healthy and delicious, right? So it depends. The other fun fact is in order to write great emails, you need to be a perfectly like native English speaker. and you'll be an excellent writer. Not true, not always, right? I have a client who's, English is his third language, but it comes down to confidence, it comes down to prep, and got 10 calls for interviews. So it's possible, right? You got to articulate those thoughts into words. You can learn that. It's a skill. You can learn that. You can use certain verbs and phrases that have more impact than others. And this method that I'm talking about has helped so many people, so many like non-native speakers. And timing, the third fact, interesting one. Timing doesn't really matter when it comes to emails. I gotta say, I'm one of those people. I thought it doesn't really matter. Now, according to Grammarly, which is an excellent tool for those who like, to get suggestions in their grammar, in their writing, in their spellings. Cheers. According to Grammarly, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best days to send important mails, particularly external emails. Why? Monday, most of us are in a bad mood. It's been a weekend. Not everybody wakes up cheerful and happy. And everybody like, oh, you want something? Sure. And birds and flowers. No, no. Most people are still like taking time to adjust. Their body is adjusting that it's no longer a weekend. Mondays are not great. Friday, mentally, they're thinking about their weekend. Saturday, Sunday, it's a risky thing. It can work. I know people who've had success Saturday, Sunday because there's less competition in the inbox. There are others who tune out. They want to do a digital detox on the weekend. So I think if you want to play it safe, Tuesday and Thursday is the way to go. Now let's talk about how you can supercharge your email writing skills. And I want to share some ways to do that, right? And you can supercharge them in ways like with battle tested tricks, tools, time tested, that it can be done. And this method gets you results because I've been a recruiter and a candidate multiple times. So I've practiced every single thing and I've tested it like an experiment on my, how I heard back from recruiters and with my clients, different ways, alpha testing, beta testing, all of that. I also want to say I've been made redundant 3 times. I talk about it openly on LinkedIn, and I think that we need to talk more about the hard times, right? And not just talk about how everything is great right now. So, because of that, when you are doing outreach, every single email that you write, how you write it, to whom do you write it, when do you write it, what are you asking for, all of that stuff matters. And this method gets you results because it meets you where you are. Doesn't really matter whether you're junior, senior, anywhere in the middle, whether you're an artist, manager, anything like that. And it's step by step as well. We get into strategy, tactics. It's practical, no pedantics, no fluff. We don't have time for that, right? It's impactful, instantaneous, and implementable. Now, what is the purpose of your? What are the things you need to watch out for? What are some of the warnings when it comes to writing emails? Copy pasting. It's not going to sound like you. So let's say you find a template on the internet, right? And you people kind of tell it doesn't look, genuine. There's a sharp difference between a very professionally written email versus any of the follow-up documents you have, and people are like, whoa, what a difference. Like, it's night and day, right? And the other thing, the problem with copy pasting emails is you look and sound like everyone else, because guess what, most people will do it. And writing the perfect email is not easy. It takes skills to come up with a format with your unique voice, right? Not everyone has that skill. But what if you could learn and develop that skill? It's definitely possible. And there is a guide here that I'm going to be talking about that can help you to write superb emails without hiring a professional, so that you can have lots of replies in your inbox in as little as a few hours, because it literally doesn't take that long. Even if you don't know, or even if you don't like writing emails, this is the email template to supercharge your top search. This is what I'm going to be talking about today, and I'll share a lot of it as well today, so you understand what this is about and how it can help you. And I'll talk about it a little bit more. Now, this is some of the things that are covered in the guide. Why effective email writing? Why does it matter? It is for everyone. It's not just for marketing people. It's like a life skill. It's like swimming, cooking, cycling. I apologize for the typo. Like I said, my presentation is a little bit wonky today. Recruiters get dozens of emails every day. And during peak season, let me tell you, they get hundreds of emails every day. Every day. Okay. Any recruiter today during a peak period is working anything between 6 to 50 open positions. 6 to 50. A hiring manager somewhere is always angry. So you want to write an email that helps you to stand out. How can you do that? Now let's talk a little bit more detail. Like get a bit more tactical here. There are certain aspects, right? There's certain email structure. You'll have your intro, you'll have the body, you'll have the conclusion. Clear? Now, in the intro, a lot of people will get into, here and there, beat around the bush. You want to get straight to the point. That's what I call the answer first. Who are you? What do you want? Right away. That is right in the intro. You don't waste time because the other person will respect the fact that you're clear, and the remaining you can paint a little bit of context and a picture that you can do. But in the body, you want to write the context, like why are you writing to them? Why them? Why you? Why now? Why them? Why you? Why now? And in the conclusion, you want a little bit of repetition. Again, what do you want them to do? And thank them. Always thank people. Always end with gratitude. Okay. And people are like, I don't have to repeat it. And I'll show the guide to you in it. So, for example, in the email, I'm saying this is, my number and this is my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to get in, feel free to share it in your email signature. Again, phone number, again, email address, again, LinkedIn profile. And somebody told me the other day, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you repeating this so many times? I'll tell you why. 3 words. Repetition builds reputation. Repetition builds reputation. Not for the sake of it, but when you're consistently doing it is a good thing. And one thing that you can do that can drastically increase your chances of receiving a positive response. What is that? Pari, that's a great question. Follow up email when yeah, I'll talk about that. So what is that one thing you can do? You give them an out. You give them a back door. In case they can't help you, in case they won't help you, just say it. I'd love to get, your help. However, if this is something that is difficult for you or it's something that you cannot do at this time, I will completely understand. I'll tell you what it does. It does 2 things. Removes any form of awkwardness or cringe because they've read it and you've read it. You are both on the same page. And secondly, it increases the chance of hearing back. Do you know, it's so strange. If you say to someone, no worries if you can't. I completely understand. The chances of hearing back are more because now they feel, oh no, I can do it. It's a little bit of human psychology. That's definitely possible. All right. And another one, big one, this should have said B. Ugh, where is my updated presentation? Never mind. Another ingredient of effective email writing is the subject line. Look at your own inbox today. When I'm finished today, go and look at your inbox today. Which emails were not opened? Which emails didn't receive some love from you? Those will be the ones that had a dull subject line. They didn't intrigue you. Don't be that person. Okay. My favorite thing to do is in the subject line, you want to write to them. What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Just be clear. That'll make me want to open it or not open it. As opposed to hello, hi, hello, dear. Don't waste people's time. Don't insult them. Nobody has time like that. So a good example for this one could be business analyst position at Grammarly, your ideas. Immediately, it's like, what is the position? What do you want me to do? Gives you an idea, right? This is a good way to go about it. Another very common mistake is me. Hi, I need help and I am looking for a position. Yeah, sure. Of course, you need help. That's why we're here today. How do you ask for help? But it doesn't have to be about you only, right? And there is nothing about the other person because the other person feels excluded and they don't know how they can help you if it's all about you. I've been looking for such a long time. I've gone into depression. Listen, all of this could be true, but there's a time and place for everything. In the first few contacts, you don't want it to be all about you. A little bit about them. I saw on LinkedIn 3 days ago that your office has now moved to Palo Alto. That must be wonderful. And if you know this person, hey, send me a picture of your view, it must be amazing. Make it about them. It doesn't have to be about you only, right? It's shockingly common. We've all been there, and don't worry about it. If you're like, another one I had, shockingly common mistake, I had it, and yeah, it's not in my what was the other one? There is no clear ask. It's like you're giving the problem, but what is missing is a very clear ask. Like, it's so clear a 6-year old can understand. That is missing sometimes. So the other person feels for you, right? They have a heart, and then they're like, I don't know what to do. How can I help you? Okay. And so the thing is it possible to get all the benefits of writing good emails without spending like big bucks, and if there is possible to get an email guide which you can use instantly in your career and have it like done within minutes, would you take it? Because you can, right? There is a way to get breathtakingly easy emails that you can write, and you don't have to spend days or weeks prodding. You don't have to be great at English. You just need a little bit of faith. And those who have the faith and those who take the leap are rewarded with, replies and replies in the inbox. And you can have that. So you can show to companies how awesome you are. So the guide I'm going to share with you today has already templates from me, not, random stuff from, websites, that you can write to recruiters and hiring managers, that you can write to ask for referrals when you know the person well, when you don't know the person at all, when you kind of know the person, right? And there's also scripts to use on LinkedIn. Let's not forget the power of LinkedIn, that you can use, whether it's asking for a recommendation on LinkedIn, whether it's writing a connection request to some high stakes connection, like you're like, wow, that relationship would be amazing for my career. Well, how do I write an actual like connection request? There's also a 300 character limit on LinkedIn when you're writing a connection request. Oh my gosh, all of that. How do you do that? Right? It's all in there. It's all there in the script. So this is the email template to supercharge your job search. There's advanced scripts for 18 possible scenarios. I've thought of all of them. So you never have to start from zero. You never have to start from scratch. And it can transform your emails, helps you to get the replies you need, makes you feel good about yourself, right? You don't have to hire like a writing specialist or someone who's an expert in English, and you can get that within minutes because it's really like downloadable. Even if you've tried and it hadn't worked out before, even if the idea of writing emails makes you ill, even if the idea of asking for help makes you physically ill, it's impossible. No, it's not actually. So there's clients of mine who've done it and they've received a lot of success. There's Amit, there's Char, there's Julia, and I'll tell you what's included. Okay. Now, we talk about this a lot more detail in this script. It's actually 34 pages. It says 32, but I adapted it. And I'm not talking about, photographs and lovely GIFs and all. There's no fluff in there. It's literally words, 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 words. No time for, I don't think anybody has time for fluff. We talk about in detail about why good writing matters, why good emails matter to you, what are great, some of the wonderful ingredients that you need for effective email writing. How do you ask for a referral? Like I said, when you don't know the person. And beautiful one, I worked really hard on this one, writing to recruiters. Okay. Writing to an internal versus an external recruiter, because let me tell you, they're not not necessarily the same approach. Writing to a recruiter when a role has been advertised, like indeed.com or linkedin.com somewhere. Writing to a recruiter if they contact you first. How about writing to an executive recruiter at the C-suite level? Or how about letting the recruiter know you applied already? How do you do that? And then writing to a hiring manager. Hiring manager is a different kettle of fish. Okay. And then we talk about LinkedIn, sending a request for a recommendation, sending a request to connect. And what about the time that you want to tell everyone that you're between, or you're going to be between jobs soon because the company announced something? How do you do that without looking desperate? How do you do that without making people feel bad for you and still keep your pride? Right? How about a cover letter? Hello, I hate cover letters. Most people don't read them. But the one company that does read them, how can you write a cover letter in an email format? You can do it. And then there's also interviews, after interviews. And I saw a question and I'll help you out with that. How about a thank you email when you get rejected? Oh my God, it's awful. But let me tell you, writing a thank you email after you are rejected, I think less than 5% of people do that, because most people say, there's nothing to say, it's finished. Wrong. Wrong. If you play the long game and thank them for their time and even ask them for some feedback, if they can share it, that will be valuable to your career. Companies remember that. And then you stay in touch. It is a huge game changer. I've had guests on the podcast who changed a no to a yes because they wrote a thank you email. And this was in the 80s and 90s, and they did it like handwritten. That was even more special. It's possible. And how about writing an email when you reject them? Let's say you have three offers and you selected one and you need to tell the other two. How do you do it? I have that template in here as well. And also, thank you. So a follow up email, right? A follow up email that you don't hear back. And I saw this. I saw this question. Um, Follow up, Daksh, that's a great question. Okay, so in my template, in my guide, I talk about my 3 by 3 principle. So write to them 3 times over 3 weeks. Okay, the first time you're like, hey, just wanted to, and it's already been a week, right? So you're like, hey, I'm just checking how it's going, I'm just checking in, very casual. The second time, it's like a little bit longer. You want to make sure, not very long, just a couple of lines, but longer than the first time, saying, listen, I'm still interested. I'm sure you're busy, but I wanted you to know I'm still interested and I look forward to hearing from you. The third time, what I recommend you do, because this is the final time, Daksh, you're not getting a good feeling, right? I recommend that first of all, you've got your eggs in multiple baskets. You are not sitting by the phone and waiting for them. That's not great. Okay. um, because if they ghost you, you've spent all this time for nothing. You don't want to waste your time. You're too important to yourself. Okay, so the third time, what I recommend you do is you write to your contact person, but you also write to another person in the same email, saying, hey, I just wanted to check. We started, our first interview was 10th of April, and it's been 3 weeks, so I wanted to check what's been happening. And just as a brief recap, this is me, these are my skills, I currently work here. Now, why am I saying write it to another person? Because maybe that original contact of yours has gone on leave or something sudden has happened. You don't know that, and I don't want you to take a chance and make an assumption that they are going to ghost you. Not necessary, right? And by the way, always check your spam folders. Yeah, you never know. So with that, if they don't get back to you, it's finished. Leave it. Move on. Don't chase anything. Don't ever chase anyone. Never worth it. Never worth it. That also tells you something about company culture, right? So I have lots of templates in terms of follow up as well. And then I also have a template, which is a very nice thing to do. And trust me, most people don't do it. And that is when you want to thank someone for their help, but you want to like use the right words. Most people don't do that. Most people don't thank anyone. It's like, yeah, it's okay, this was, so you want to get a writer, it takes, it's expensive. Okay, now the thing is, it can cost, I don't know, anything from 200 to 700 to get a writer to do this for you. I'm not charging you that much. I'm not even charging you a quarter of that, and still you're going to get a 10x more value, more impact. And I'm going to get you 2 additional bonuses if you get my template guide right now. What is it? You're going to have lifetime access, because I'm going to upgrade it every time I see something and I want to improve it. I'll make sure you have that copy. I'm giving you a LinkedIn profile checklist. Now, why am I giving you a LinkedIn profile checklist? This is something I share with my paid clients. Now, one thing I recommend you do in your email at the bottom is an email signature. And most people say, I need an email signature when I work with a company. That's not true. Not true. Everyone should have an email signature, whatever you want to write in there, short, brief. But a LinkedIn profile checklist, your phone number and your email address are the bare minimum that you should have in your signature. Now, let's say you have your LinkedIn profile checklist in there, okay? And they go to your LinkedIn profile, but it's not very nice. It's not very spruced up. It's not up to date, not worth it. So I have that checklist that I think will definitely be helping you out. So what do you get when you get lifetime access to this? Sorry for the out of date presentation. When you get the email supercharged template, you get we talk about all the ingredients in more detail. How do you ask for referral? How do you ask help from recruiters or hiring managers that you want to speak with them? How do you engage on messages on LinkedIn? Pre and post interview email templates. All of this you can get today, 97 euros. It's yours. And not 977. Oh my god, my silly little presentation. So all of the scripts, all the material, all the bonuses right here, you can get started. How do you do that? You go to superchargeyourself.com/email guide right away. Just get it. And I think it's gonna help you loads because I don't see anything like this in the market. That's one of the reasons I made it, because people have advice, but when it comes to actual like templates, it's not just about making you feel confident, right? It's also about like getting a, feel more like visible and as opposed to invisible today. And also allowing you to break free from whatever it is you're not happy about, whether it's unemployment or you're just miserable in the situation you are today. I don't know. I feel like 97 euros may be a tiny price to pay for it. It's almost insignificant, right? Particularly in terms of what you get access. 97 euros for all of the things that I talked about. You've got three options right now. You could do nothing. You can kind of hoping they'll reply, but we know hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. You can try to do this yourself. Listen, it might work. Actually, it might be better based on some of the knowledge that hopefully you've got today and what you already know. It might be better than what you're doing. But something tells me better may not be good enough, right? And finally, you can get everything in email supercharged framework that gets you real results without spending weeks and days so that you can have a chance at a better whatever, a better job, better position. You can get it in minutes. Even if you don't enjoy writing emails, the choice is yours. You can be like my client Frank, you can be like my client Harry, or you can continue the way you are right now. Nothing wrong with that. You're here today. I think you're awesome. But a better, brighter, shinier you awaits on the other side of yes. And that person who's amazing, getting amazing emails and amazing replies. You who spoiled for choice, lives on their own terms, someone who takes action, someone who's a winner, not a whiner. Okay. All of this for 97 euros. I've put in the link right here in YouTube. And I'm going to get to your questions. But before I get to your questions, I wanted to sorry, this shouldn't say CV Supercharge, it's email Supercharge. I wanted to say one thing before I let you go and I get to your questions. This, official part of the presentation we're going to get over. If there's one thing that helped me to stand out when I was living in Uruguay and Chile and France and Belgium, and I wrote a lot of my outreach emails, I have this, I didn't know I was doing it, but I did some reflection and I'll tell you what I was doing. It's my Wick Myatt framework. This is what I had put in my updated presentation, which I cannot see. Ajam, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. What is the Wick Myatt framework? It's an acronym that makes zero sense. And this is what it stands for. What is in common? Make it authentic and about them. I hope you can write this in your notebook. What is in common? Make it authentic and make it about them. Okay. Let me tell you, human beings are gluttons for genuine compliments, not copy pasted stuff because we can sniff it from a mile away, but a genuine compliment that tells you specifically about why you like their work. When you're reaching out to a hiring manager, particularly, this really, really helps because they're like, wow, yeah, I heard you on I listened to you on the podcast the other day and you were talking about Seth Rogen and you're writing this in your intro email. They are impressed. They're definitely impressed because they're like, this works. This person cares. This person knows what they're talking about. They've done their research on me. What's in common? Make it authentic about them. So this is what something that I wanted to share with you. And yeah, I'm going to get to your questions right away. Hey, Ashwini, how do you create an impactful job application email? In certain cases, the interviewer asks, how do you handle such situations? Okay. Job application email. So I'm thinking you're talking about a cover letter, right? You want it to be customized to them. I don't really understand what you mean by business plan because that's not an email, that's an interview, right? So you got to be careful there, Ashwini, because a lot of people want free advice. And then if they don't hire you, they've got the free advice for life. So you want to watch out that you get expectations they're not mismatched. And let's see. Hey, Christina. So I'm relocating to another country in Europe. So I'm struggling to find jobs because I'm not senior enough. How would you approach this challenge with emails? You want to show them, Christina, in your emails. That's a great topic, by the way. Uh, you want to show them in your emails on how you have certain transferable skills and be very specific on what they are and how they are applicable to their need. So if you use the cover letter template that I have in there, you can customize it for most applications and you connect the dots for them. It's definitely possible, and it also should be like visible in your resume. It's not just your cover letter is a little bit more when you have that explanation, and you can definitely do that, and I have that template in place as well. Hope that helps. Hey, Rita, does this specially help in getting jobs? And no, it's for every place. No, absolutely for every other place. Thank you so much for being here, Ankita. So thank you guys for being here. I hope this was helpful in terms of how to supercharge your emails. If this has been helpful, give me a little thumbs up. That would be awesome. And if you are interested, join me on my journey with the email supercharged templates. It's ready for you to download. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves. Bye.